Hey guys, welcome back to the Real Southern Garden. I'm Sarah, and today I'm going to show you how to plant a rose or a shrub or pretty much anything in clay soil and get it to thrive. That's right, I'm going to show you how to amend the soil. This is the easiest way, in my opinion. It isn't the only way. There are other ways to do it, but I find that it gets kind of confusing for people when they start trying to figure out the different amendments to put in, and it also depends on the exact composition of the native soil they're working with. So what I do is I tell them just to pull all that dirt out and backfill it, and I'm going to show you how to do it today. Also, I used to work at an online rose nursery for a little while, and the top complaint that we would get, we would have people call in and say their rose died, and 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10 practically, their rose died because they planted it in direct native soil and the rose did not like it. You got to get the soil right if you want them to be happy. So come along with me today. Let me show you the easiest way, in my opinion, to get that dirt right and make your plant happy. Let's go. All right, guys, so we are working over here on this side flower bed that's near my driveway, and I've got a couple roses already up here. I still have 2 iceberg roses, which are not good for the south, but I still have mine. They're going to get replaced one day, but they're at the front of this bed. I have a bridal spirea in the middle, some other things mixed in, and then I have Portlandia, which is another rose, a newer rose for me right here in the middle. And I'm going to be adding 2 new roses. These are grafted roses, so they are not own root. I usually buy, most of my roses are own root roses, but because I do live in the south and we just don't get that cold for the most part, grafted roses are going to be okay in my garden because they're not going to die all the way back to the root usually, and they're going to be okay. So I am trying these grafted roses from True Bloom. They are supposed to be highly disease resistant and highly fragrant. I saw them at Lowe's. I needed some red. I don't have any red roses, and I just thought, you know what? I'm going to try this particular variety and just see how it does for me. I know a lot of you guys shop at Lowe's too, so I'll report back to you about how these do. I normally, like I said, this is new for me to try these, but I want to see how they do. So anyway, we're going to put them back here. I am digging 2 holes right now, and I'm expanding this garden bed out an additional about 3 feet or so. And the soil here, right, unfortunately for this video, actually is not pure clay. It has a lot of topsoil that has run off because there's a little bit of a hill here, and through time it actually has accumulated some fairly decent soil. I'm going to show you another picture here. I'll put it up here or over here of a pure clay hole in my yard where I planted some hydrangeas and had to amend that back in the fall. So I'm still going to amend this hole completely the same to show you how I do it, but it isn't going to be as red looking because there isn't as much clay in this particular spot as other places on my property. But I want to plant it here, so we're going to plant it here anyway. All right, let's get to it. So here you go. You can see this little flower bed right here. I haven't done any weeding or anything. I just started today. It is my first time back outside, honestly, since the fall. So for gardening anyway. So we're adding, as you can see right there, we're going to expand it out and put our 2 red roses in those spots. All right, so these are the roses that I'm planting today. They are called True Spirit. It's a beautiful, ruffly red rose. It's a hybrid tea. It's from the company True Bloom. And like I said, I have never tried any of these roses, but I'm just super curious to see how they do here. This one is going to get it to be about 5 feet by 3 feet wide. It's very fragrant. What else? I don't know. I'm excited to see how it goes. Now, what I do is I will plant my roses in a 24 by 24 inch hole. So I'll dig out the native soil, approximately 24 inches deep, 24 inches wide, give or take. Sometimes it's like 18 by 18 inches, not quite 24, but as close as I can get to it. That's really all the rose is going to need. And then I'm going to backfill it with the soil mixture that I'm going to show you in just a second. So I'll take the native soil out of the hole and I'll just put it aside either in containers or in a pile near the hole whatever makes sense. And then I'm going to show you how to mix up the soil mixture and what to put in it. All right, so you can see this hole right here is significantly better as far as clay goes. It doesn't have that much clay in it. It's a lot of topsoil that has run down this hill, probably years and years. And then over here, this one has slightly more clay in the bottom. You can see that I dug out, but it is not pure clay like some areas on my property are. Well, we're going to amend it just the same either way. They are about 18 inches deep, 18 inches wide, give or take. Get as close as you can. 24 by 24 would be the safest bet. But in this particular area, you can see that because the soil is not just pure clay, I can fudge it a little on the 18 by 18 inches. I'm going to go grab the soil and we're going to get to the mixture. And by the way, like I said, this whole bed is being expanded. And what I do when I make a new area is I will go down with either my cardboard on top of this brand new grassy part, and then I'll go over it with the painter's paper. I'll link the video where I talk about that. And then I'll do painter's paper over this area where I have a lot of things already planted. When you use that, be very, very careful that you go around the plants. You don't want to cover up your plants with the painter's paper, which is essentially cardboard paper. It's just easier to cut than all the boxes, and that's why I use it on beds that are established. It means they're already at least a year old or older. They're not just brand new grass. So on this brand new grassy part, I will use thick cardboard with the painter's paper on top. On the old part, I'll put the painter's paper down, and then I'll put mulch on top. And that just keeps me from having to weed for most of the season, which is a considerable difference when you live here in the deep south where everything grows like crazy. All right, so now we're going to get to the soil. So I'm just going to take this mulch and pile it over there so I can use it when I am done with this bed. Okay, so to mix the soil for the planting hole, what I do is I just take an empty container. So whatever container you have, something like this works. I have Miracle-Gro garden soil, and that's what I use. Some rose companies will say don't use fertilizer in your planting hole at all. This has very little fertilizer in it. I've never had trouble planting brand new roses with this, so FYI, my opinion and from my experience. And then I have a good old bag of black cow and then the native soil. So what I do is I take this and I use 1/3 native soil, 1/3 Miracle-Gro garden soil in ground, and 1/3 black cow. And I just keep mixing it into my wheelbarrow, mix it up, and I use that for the planting hole. So I don't put back straight native soil. I'm using 1/3 native soil, 1/3 of the garden soil in ground, Miracle-Gro, and 1/3 of the black cow mixed up in here in this wheelbarrow, and then I backfill it with the rose, and it works fantastic. I have never had any trouble with a bowling effect or anything like that where say that the porosity is different, say like the clay outside, that soil is different versus the planting hole, because I'm mixing in some native soil as well. And I've never had any trouble with that. This recipe has worked great for me. I think it'll work great for you too. So check it out. It is the easiest one. You don't have to buy all the crazy different things. This will make your rose happy. And I, of course, fertilize my roses every month during the growing season with Biotone, Rose Tone, not Biotone, same company, Rose Tone. And that is my favorite, most economical, best bloom from my buck product. All right, let's get to mixing. Native soil, a little bit of water in there. One of the Miracle-Gro and one of the black cow. Okay, now make sure when you open your black cow that there isn't any white, moldy, fungusy looking stuff. You just want to make sure that that's not in there when you plant your rose. It's better if it isn't. This bag is fantastic, so we don't have to worry. And we just dump that into our wheelbarrow, and then we just mix it around. You can use a shovel, you can use your hands. It's kind of fun to use your hands, honestly, as long as you got gloves on. Mix it real good. And you can see, try to get, there's a few like pieces of grass I got in here, but that's all right. This quality soil is going to be fantastic for a rose or any shrub that you want to plant. It is going to be able to get nutrients. It's going to be able to spread out and grow, and it's not going to suffocate in that red dirt Georgia clay. All right, and now we're just going to plant our rose. And I know it looks crazy for the sake of the video, but I'm going to remove the I will remove the native soil and take it somewhere else on my property. I will flatten all this out. And of course, like I said, use the cardboard paper and the cardboard and mulch it. You'll see an after in probably the next video. But today we're just going to plant the roses. So. All right, guys, we've got them all planted. Now all I have to do is put the cardboard down here and the painter's paper and roll the painter's paper back over the old part of the bed and mulch it, and it's going to be beautiful. And I cannot wait to see these roses and to smell them. There's nothing better than roses, in my opinion. I love them. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, I would love it if you subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. If you've got any questions about how to grow roses or anything like that, I would love to try to help. And there's lots of ways to plant roses, like I said, and amend the soil. This is just how I do it. It's worked really well for me since I was a little girl. I think it'll work for you too. So thanks for watching. I'll see you back here next time in the next video right here at the Real Southern Garden. Bye, guys.